You are now watching Animal Expedition Files.
If there's any ghost in this room, are you alive or dead?
What the fuck kind of question is that? Damn it, if it's a ghost, it's dead!
What?
Stupid ice!
You just gotta make sure. Granny, is it going red still?
Jake, go a little further back there.
Wake up with your favorite station. Online, digital, and on your smartphone.
It's time for your favorite host.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to the Animal Expedition Files. I am your host, The Animal. Thank you so much for joining me on a Wednesday night, everybody. It is past 8 p.m. Eastern time, but we're still going to have fun. You might see my dog in the background wagging his tail. But thank you so much for joining me. Let's see who's on here. Hey, Jenny, how's it going? Hey, Patrick. How you guys doing? You guys are always amazing and joining the show. If you watch my shows every week, twice a week, whatever it is that I'm on, sometimes I forget because, you get at that age where you can't even remember what you ate. But, but we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to talk paranormal, Bigfoot, anything you could think of, conspiracy theories. So you don't want to miss out on all the fun. But yeah, we're going to have some fun here. But I got a little news for you here. That was kind of disturbing, kind of fun and disturbing because I don't know about you, but I live in Florida near the Everglades, so where there's spiders. But they found a zombie spider. I don't know if you heard about it, but check this out and see what you think.
He hangs out on the
Zombie spiders have been discovered in Ireland. If you remember the show The Last of Us, you might recognize parasitic fungi-infected ants, moths, and other insects. Well, scientists discovered a new species in Ireland. I'm gonna butcher this name, so I'm not gonna try to pronounce it, but this fungus takes over cave spiders. Once the fungus gets a grip of the spiders, it'll control them to leave the cave, and the fungus will feast on the body so the spores can be released into the air. Yeah, Mother Nature isn't for the faint of heart.
So yeah, if you watch a show, The Last of Us, with zombies, fungus zombies or whatever they're called, now we got zombie spiders that are has this weird crap on it and stuff like that other spiders are getting and dying. So yeah, zombie spiders. What's gonna be next? Zombie people. I don't know. What do you think? But we got amazing guests here. We're gonna be bringing them on the show here. We're going to have a lot of fun. Like I said, we're going to talk paranormal. We're going to talk Bigfoot. But yeah, let's have him on. Let's have a little fun here. We got Rob in the background. We got George. We're gonna bring them both on. We had more, but we're having a little difficulty, a little bit. Getting on Restream. Restream's been a little difficult here, but we're gonna have a little fun still, no matter what. We're gonna make the fun of it. So hey, how's it going, guys? How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing good.
Good. Just living the dream. It's a Wednesday night. Hopefully, everything will work out with the other guys. I don't know if you're having trouble with them. Are they still having trouble?
One's having problems getting his mic to work with this program. The other one's having trouble getting his video to work with the program. So.
Yeah. Well, I hope they get to come on and have fun with us. But what about you guys? I see you guys are from North Carolina, all the way up in the mountain area where there's a lot of Bigfoot lore, a lot of ghosts, a lot of things that go on in that area. Especially there was a hurricane that came in your area. I hope it didn't hit in your area because I know that hurricane was really bad, and I hope you guys stayed safe during that time.
Oh, it hit here.
I got a hammered. I lost my home.
You lost your home?
I had a roof damage with a tree went through it.
Wow. Yeah, I heard it was not good because I remember when we got hit by Hurricane Ian, we got destroyed. We got wiped a lot. It's it kind of remind me of that situation. It's pretty bad.
But yeah, we have all kinds of critters here. We got Bigfoot, Dogman, all kinds of stuff. So
that's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Well, before we go on with anything that you guys are doing, tell us a little bit about you guys, your team, the NCI from North Carolina. Tell us a little bit about you guys.
Rob, go ahead. I'll finish after you.
All righty. I think it was about May or June of 2023. I'd been talking to George for a pretty good while on the internet. Had never met him, and we met up at a Bigfoot conference in Burnsville, North Carolina. And about 15 minutes later, after we got through talking, it was like George and I had known one another for 100 years, like we'd been next door neighbors, and it was lightning in a bottle.
Yep.
Well, we got to talking, and he said, would you like to do a podcast? And I said, yes, I'd like to revamp the one that I had. And he said, well, what are we going to call it? And I said, we first started out really and truly as NCIS, North Carolina Investigates Sasquatch.
That's awesome.
Well, every time anybody tried to pull it up on YouTube, Abby and Jethro kept coming up because we forgot about the actual TV show called NCIS. So we had to drop the S and just call it NCI to make everybody, make it easier for everybody to find us. Well, we hooked up with a producer. He was Puerto Rican. He is down in South Carolina. George knew him quite well. His name was Eric Couillard. Well, we run with Eric for a little while, and Eric had stage 4 cancer. I can't remember what kind of cancer he had. George might remember. I can't remember off the top of my head. And Eric passed away on us. Well, a few weeks went by. George calls me up again. He said, I think I found us another producer. And I said, okay. I said, who is it? And he said, WROK FM out of Las Vegas, Nevada. I said, well, what's his name? He said, Randy Stewart. And I said, okay. Well, we talked to Randy, got to talking to him a little bit. And I've never met Randy in person, just talked to him on the internet, talked to him on the phone. It was like lightning in a bottle, like we've known one another for 100 years. And we started bringing in Tim Deals, and then we brought in Jerry Millwood and the rest of the crew. And I couldn't ask for a better team. I mean, NCI, we've had some great investigations. We've seen some wonderful evidence. The only thing that we haven't seen yet, we've caught it on camera that was behind us that we didn't see at the time. The only thing that we haven't personally witnessed is Dogman. Now we've run into Bigfoot 2 or 3 different times in the woods
Yep.
and all kinds of Bigfoot sign, but this team, I can't say enough. I can't say enough good about them. They just amaze me, and it's just a family unit, and we're just a band of brothers and sisters that we've got each other's six. It don't make any difference whether it's in the woods or on the street. If anybody needs anything, we're just a text or a phone call away.
Yeah,
I couldn't put it any better.
that's so cool.
They're just like what Robert said. Could not ask for a better group. Everybody watches out for each other. We all work together really well. Most of us are experienced hunters, so we're real at home in the woods. We know what to look for as far as sign goes. We know what to look for as far as tracks. We know when we go in the woods, we're no strangers to it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, these guys are always great. I don't have to worry about if I'm in the woods. I know one of them's watching my back and I'm watching theirs.
Yeah, we can basically just about look at one another in the woods and tell what the other ones are thinking.
Yep.
And when you're working that well knit and working, like a well-oiled machine, you can't ask for any better. I mean, you don't have to wonder or speculate or anything or have any doubts whatsoever. If one of us stops, there's a reason.
Yeah. Now, when you guys go out in the woods, when you guys go together on these investigations, do you guys ever like come across like anything like paranormal or anything like that? Or I know a lot of people are speculating that Sasquatch is paranormal. What's your thoughts about that, or is it a real being?
Well, I personally, he's a flesh and blood creature. With no doubt whatsoever. I've seen him. I've seen his footprints. I smelled it. I found hair. So, I mean, for me, there is paranormal out there. We was doing one investigation near a graveyard, and Rob heard the voices, wouldn't see no people.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it all ties in together eventually anyway, regardless of what it is.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy if you think about it, and also they cross it with UFOs and other speculations about that what goes on. I know, like for me, like with Bigfoot, there's a lot of whole thing with. I've had conversations with other Bigfoot people about cloaking, kind of like a what's it called? The creatures that hide themselves and change colors.
Chameleon.
Oh, chameleons.
Kind of like a chameleon, because I've had instances where I don't know if you guys do this. If you use the game cameras, a lot of times I would put a gifting like a bucket or chair or something like that, and I would put apples there. I'd catch every single animal except for whatever caught those apples. You ever had like any experiences with that?
Go ahead, Rob.
Not that we are aware of. No. As far as the cloaking goes and everything like that, I from the hair samples and everything that we've collected, the hair's got a color. It's translucent. It's a color, translucent, a different color, and translucent. If you notice anything about black bears, if the light is just right down right around close to before it gets so dark you can't see what's going on without a flashlight. If the shadows and the light is just right in the woods, if a black bear does not move, you'll never know he's there. I've been in the woods and I've seen white-tailed deer in broad open daylight at 11:30 in the morning vanish right before my very eyes. And what they've done, they've just turned a certain angle. And if they don't move or make a sound, you think they're gone.
Yeah.
And And bears will do that. I've even had fish in a stream, be a trout fishing, and get looking and go, boy, that sure is a real pretty brown trout over in that hole. Let me see if I got something other than my tackle box to catch him with. Take your eyes off of him and be tying another lure on and turn around and look back and you're like, now where did that devil go? He can't go upstream. The hole's locked where he can't go in either direction. Where did that fish go? And basically what the fish did was blended into his own environment. Bigfoot's the same way. They're the masters of their own environment and the complete masters of disguise.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, I think that they fuzz their fur out, and when that color and translucent that's in their hair follicles hits just at the right light angle and the right shadow line, they'll blend in with a laurel bush, or they'll blend in with a hemlock or a Fraser fir or whatever's there in the woods, and it will appear and make you think that they've just poof vanished right before your very eyes, but they've just turned at a certain angle and fuzzed themselves up, and you can't see them. And odds are, they ain't no telling how many people on this planet has walked within 25 feet of one and didn't know it was there.
Yeah.
Well, for example, we was on one hunt. My buddy Tim was down at the bottom of the hill close to a different wood line, and we noticed on the video that he turned his back and started back up, and we seen eyes open up, and the Bigfoot looked like a tree. The only reason we knew is because his eyes opened and closed, and he was like 15 feet away from Tim.
Wow.
And Tim didn't have a clue that he is there. We didn't know it either till we reviewed the footage.
Yeah.
Had no idea.
And I had a dog man behind me and had no idea he was there except we seen it on the footage.
Wow. That's nuts. That's crazy. Have you ever what was that? Talking about Bigfoot and all the craziness experiences that people have. I know people speculate about like, is Bigfoot real? Is Bigfoot not? Because people talk about their bones. Where are their bones? Where do they hide them? What's your speculation about that? About where they hide their bones, or do they actually hide them, or are they actually buried?
Well,
go ahead, George.
Go ahead, Rob. You started off.
In my opinion, I mean, you know, everybody's got opinions, and nobody really truly knows this for sure. But it's the only thing that would make sense. In my opinion, I think they bury their dead, and in some cases, they're cannibals anyways. They'll eat berries, they'll eat roots, they'll eat bear, deer, rabbit, squirrel, whatever is available. I'm not 110% convinced that they don't go ahead and eat the dead. And when they get down to the bone structure, they use that for tools.
Hmm.
I'm not talking, you know, I'm not talking like a hammer and this, that, and the other. I'm talking about they'll use it to strip other animals down, or, you know, whatever the case might be.
Yeah.
Hey, our buddy Jerry.
Hey, Jerry.
Man.
Can I hear you? I don't think he can hear us still. I think he's still having What's up, Jason? How's it going, brother? Yeah, it says he has audio now, but he's not talking.
I'll send him a message, see if he can hear us.
Yeah, I don't know if he can hear us.
Welcome to the wonderful world of technology.
Well, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we
can you hear me? I can't hear y'all.
Hey, Michelle. How's it going? Huh. I wonder what's going on.
I cannot hear you guys.
Yeah, we can hear you perfect. Yeah, I don't know, technology.
How
I
about
sent him a message.
Okay. Sorry.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us now?
You hear us, Jerry?
No.
No, you can't
Sorry
hear
about
us.
the always on my end. That's my Dexcom 6, my sugar detector, is saying my sugar's a little bit too high.
No worries. Yeah, he went off.
Well. Now, what the thing with the Bigfoot is, even if they didn't, and then the body's just laid there, the thing is with being out in nature, everything's going to feed on it. It's going to dissolve because of the acidity in the ground. So, I mean, everybody's hollering, we don't see bones, we don't see bones. Well, I guarantee you, 3/4 of them never seen a bear bone in the woods. They've never seen the squirrel bones in the woods. Because the fact is, everything out there is going to feed on that body, whether it be the bugs, whether it be the other animals getting the proteins off of it, sucking the bone marrow out, or the bugs and the worms and stuff eating the bones themselves for the calcium.
The funny part is the only kind of bones you really see out in the woods, really honestly, is deer. That's pretty much the only kind of bones you really see out there. You don't really, like you said, you don't really see bears, bear bones. You don't see squirrel bones. You don't really see anything. So that kind of makes more sense to me that, they would feed off other things, except for deer. Deer, you do see deer bones out there.
Well, you see deer because a lot of people hunt deer.
Yeah.
And they're so abundant. You're always going to find that because you have more interaction with the people and stuff than you do anything else. And a lot of people will skin it out and leave the bones.
Yeah. Do you think Bigfoot uses deer as like kind of like how can I say it? Kind of as a camouflage where they could use them as a deflective so people don't see Bigfoot out there?
I never really thought about that.
Because think about it, there's so much deer out there. And I always wondered if like maybe Bigfoot uses like because they're supposed to be the spirit creatures of the forest, and I'm wondering if they like really like communicate with deer to like kind of like say, hey, go over there, there's people, kind of as a deflective so they could do whatever they want.
I know they'll herd deer for a slaughter. We found ambush areas. We found where they actually run the deer from a field up a trench through a kill area and then back out again.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know about as far as use them for camouflage stuff, but I know they do eat a lot of deer.
Yeah.
And hogs, they both those.
Especially fish, because they usually a lot of people say they've seen like Bigfoot around the water area with fish and all that.
Yeah, everybody likes fish.
Yeah. Can't go out and fish. Bigfoot loves that salmon. You gotta have that salmon.
Like a good trout myself.
Oh, yeah.
Heck yeah. Have you guys come across like any kind of experiences in the wood where like it became kind of dangerous for you guys, like in a Bigfoot incident?
Just at one time up there at that one research area. That's where my wife and another researcher friend of ours, Harley, they got up there on those two juveniles, and Mama wasn't one bit happy, and George had to pull them back.
Yeah. Yeah, she was not happy. You could feel her growling more than you could hear it. I mean, it hit you in the chest.
Wow. So it definitely kind of had that creep factor where you're like, nope, we're not going in there.
Yeah, I got everybody out there pretty quick, by down to the rest of the group, because we were up a hill. We were right by a bedding area. We had just seen the two juveniles. One went up the hill, and a different one come down the other side of the hill.
Yeah.
And we were investigating that bedding area up there. It's fresh. Ooh, it stunk. And Michelle moved over close to where the laurels were, and Harley walked over behind her when they did. Son. Mama let us know that she was not happy.
Man, that would be crazy. You know, hearing something like that, it has to be startling. I haven't come across that experience. I know, like with me, I've like had tree knocks. I've had footprints. The weird stuff with the game camera, but nothing like like a growl or anything like that. Um, in that aspect, but that's pretty crazy right there.
Have you heard the metal clanking sound?
It's you talk about like a ding, kind of like that.
It sounds like two pans hitting together.
Yeah, I've heard of that before. Not in the woods, but I've heard that sound before.
Me and Tim heard it twice in one day in the woods.
Oh wow,
it was just really strange.
Huh. I wonder if that like could be something like paranormal or something, something with that nature. Because I know a lot of people hear like kind of like baby sounds, like crying.
That's probably them mocking, because they'll mock whatever they've heard. They'll mock it, and they'll try to get you in closer with like kid sounds, or they'll do a hoot owl, or they'll do a crow. But it's just always off enough to where you know it's not what it is.
That's strange.
They'll even imitate coyotes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of that where they imitate coyotes all the time, because if you think about it, there's so many coyotes out there, and it would definitely make sense if they did that. I think.
Sorry, I was reading the thing over there.
Oh no, I thought everybody froze. No, this computer's like acting very weird today. I don't know what's going on. It's like I live in a haunted house, so a lot of stuff happens here.
Men in Black's house, that's what it is.
If Rod Serling pops up and goes to talking, we know we're in trouble.
Yep.
Hopefully, no Men in Black come to the door or something like that. I'll have to wear the glasses.
Yeah, I don't want more encounters with the MIBs. I've had 2 or 3 of them. No.
That's crazy. You know, if you think about it, like, why would they show up? In that instance, like, does it correlate to UFOs, or does it correlate to like the Bigfoot?
Well, honestly, it seems to be with all this stuff: the paranormal, the UFOs, and the Bigfoot.
Yeah, it's like, what are they hiding? Why? Like, why is it so important they need to hide this stuff? Like, it's an animal. It's a being, especially like the UFO thing. It's like, why is it such a secret? Why are we hiding these ships that happened back in Roswell? You know what I mean? And stuff like that. Like, people want to know. People want answers.
It's all power.
Yeah.
If they know and you don't know, they got something over you. They have more knowledge. They're able to manipulate what you're seeing, what you're hearing, what you're doing. Where you won't have that ability they won't have that ability if we know what's really going on.
Yeah.
So,
and plus on top of that,
go ahead, Rob.
On the flip side of the coin too, it's all about money.
Mm-hmm.
If you get to looking at where most of your Bigfoot encounters, dogman encounters, and a lot of the paranormal encounters and everything that people's been having, a lot of them are inside these national parks. And inside these national parks, guess what's being generated? Money. Yeah. So if they disclose everything that they know, number one, you're going to have the majority of the general population of the general public, they won't go back into the woods for no man's money. So right there goes a whole bunch of billions and trillions of dollars going down the drain. Well, it also affects the logging business, because a lot of loggers, some of them will refuse to log. And then on the other flip side of the coin, you'll have another group of complete maniacs that's saying, well, we'll just take one out and take it to the taxidermist. They don't want any of that to happen. And it would basically, between social and economic sides of the fence, you're going to create complete teetotal chaos. Yeah, and they'll lose control, won't be able to control it or any of the sort. So Why not just sit back and go, no, you seen a bear, you didn't see a Bigfoot, or whatever the case might be. Because technically speaking, if you get to looking on how COVID was handled, the general public all across the world did not handle that very well. They didn't use their head and do more research and get to thinking on it. Everybody, I mean, don't think I'm throwing off on anybody. I'm just speaking the gospel truth.
Oh yeah.
Everybody went completely, totally stupid over the whole mess. And anybody that went to high school and stayed in science class for 45 minutes knows a virus of any sort is not going to fall over dead at 6 feet.
Mm.
You can't get, that 6 foot distance and everything else, and the mask, it was all just a whole big cluster, and it was mismanaged and handled extremely poorly. So you take that and compare it to what the government would disclose with UFOs, Bigfoot, Dogman, Ghost, and whatever else. You're asking for a whole complete recipe for disaster inside of itself.
Yeah, anything that's involved with the government it is a disaster. Especially the whole world right now that's kind of on fire. But that's a whole nother conversation.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, we won't go down that rabbit hole.
We could spend like hours down the rabbit hole because I love, like, I'm all about conspiracy theories about what's going on in the government and everything here, Bigfoot, UFOs, like the whole drone thing. I was like, when that drone thing came out, where there were drones flying in New Jersey, and then it went all over the place, and then people started seeing these weird orbs that were coming out of the water, and they're saying there's like towns underwater and there's these bases and stuff. It's nuts, the way everything's going, and people disappearing, and it's like, I'm like, what the hell's going on with this world? And then they're like, there's whistleblowers about UFOs.
Well, the one that got us when our buddy Eric was still alive is the thing down in Miami where the aliens popped up in the shopping mall. Well, son, he went crazy over that. He investigated everything he could find about that.
Wow.
Yeah, he called me on a daily basis, just about 3 or 4 times a day, and I mean, bless his heart, loved him to death. I mean, he was just a brother to me. I mean, you couldn't. Eric had the personality. You couldn't help but to love him. I'm not joking. I mean, he is just like a brother you never had,
Yeah.
and we'll forever miss him dearly, and never take nothing away from him. But bless his heart, he used to crack me up, call me up. Lord, looky here what I found. Lord, looky here at this, and looky here at that. I was like, Eric, what do you ever sleep?
Oh, that's awesome. But we're gonna go into commercial here. There's actually a really fun video I want to share here, and then we'll keep having a conversation with you guys a bit of Bigfoot. But check this out. Everybody who's listening, thank you so much for listening on the show. But go a quick commercial break and we'll be right back.
He hangs out on the porch. Imagine waking up to these monsters at your front door.
Did they actually ring your doorbell?
He looked in it and he scratched it. He tried to touch it. The big joke down here is it's mating season, so they were looking for, a nice room.
It's a crazy scene in Florida. An alligator appears to ring the doorbell.
Could you imagine, just looking at your front camera and you see two alligators just waiting at your door and just saying, hello, can I come in? It's just amazing. It's amazing what creatures could do.
They'd have to watch it here. My wife's from New Orleans. We be eating them suckers.
Oh yeah. In Florida. Well, I'm in Florida, and gators that video was in Florida.
Yeah.
I think it was northern Florida from me where I'm at, but Dude, like I've seen gators in pools. I've seen gators climb trees. Gators are weird, and now we're getting a flock of crocs here now in Florida. Really big,
Wow.
and in Everglades, yeah, it's nuts.
That
It's
is
crazy.
nuts.
Yeah,
Fox
it's
are aggressive.
yeah, they're beasts too. They're pretty big, but it's just great. And I know we're in the middle of mating season right now, so it's with these gators. But gator does taste good though. I do love some gator tail.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I've never tried it.
Oh, it's so yummy.
it's
That's
good.
why
Man.
I'm fat. But yummy.
It tastes like chicken. Well, that's what they.
Now up here in the mountains of North Carolina, where me and George is from, if we had a alligator picking on our front door, we'd have to ask her wife to peach us because we'd be dreaming.
My wife be sending me out there. Get it.
Shoot it in the head.
Take that 22 and take him out.
Oh, dude, yeah. I don't know.
I'd be on the phone calling Troy Landry.
I've seen some weird videos. There's actually a gator. I think it's crocs. They actually pretend they're drowning in the waters to pretend to save them, and they'll attack you. They'll actually pretend to drown, which is weird. It's crazy.
I saw that video the other day. That was something other just unreal.
Could you imagine if Bigfoot did that, pretend to drown just to catch you?
That'd be funny.
That'd be awesome.
I would actually try to go save him. He'd probably kill me, but I'd still try to do it.
Well, our buddy Harley would lasso him.
I would love. I love that. Like, what would you guys do if you were in a situation if Bigfoot came to you and wanted to chat? What would you do?
I'd talk to him. I got no problem with that.
Me either.
I think
you got to remember, I chased after an 8.5 foot one.
Oh yeah,
I run him down to Robert.
You chased a Bigfoot.
Yeah, I chased him down to Robert.
Oh wow! How did that go?
Quickly.
Well, it didn't go as planned, but it was it was a good experience. George and Harley went off down a bank off into this little hollow, and they hollered and said, "Won't you come down here with us?" And by the time I started to take a step to go with them, it was like a little voice went off in my head and said, "I wouldn't do that if I was you. Take the left-hand prong and go down the trail on the other side and get about 100 yards in front of it." I said, "Okay." So we had radios and everything, so I knew we wasn't going to get in no trouble. Well, George and Harley goes off down the right-hand side, and I go down the left-hand side. About 100 yards, and I stop. And I turn around, look at my wife, and I said, "Go on down by another 100 yards." And she goes down there and she stops. Well, we're everyone decked out in full dress camo. Well, George and Harley jumps at one. We named it. George nicknamed him Alfalfa because he had hair sticking straight up on top of his head. And I get a holler on the radio. "He's headed your way. He's headed your way." I said, "Who's headed my way?" He said, "Bigfoot's heading your way." And I said, "Oh boy." Well, just about 2 or 3 minutes, give or take, before he starts heading in my direction, all day long, the woods was just as deathly quiet as being in a graveyard at midnight. There wasn't no birds, wasn't no squirrels, no nothing. Weather was kind of on the nasty side anyways. Part of the day is trying to sleet, part of the day is trying to snow, part of the day is trying to rain. It really and truly wasn't, a wonderful day weather-wise, but other than that, we was having a ball.
Oh yeah.
It's about 6 crows come out of the laurel bush, out of that laurel thicket, looked like it had been shot out of a cannon. I mean, they come out of there. It was everything you could do to follow them with your eyes as moving sufficed. And all of a sudden, it sounded just exactly like a bulldozer coming through the woods. So I go reaching for my pistol because I didn't want to get run slam over top of. I wasn't going to shoot to kill it, but if it attacked, I was going to defend myself. And when he got within probably 50 feet of where I was standing, he stopped. I mean, it just dead still stopped. And I didn't hear nothing but about 2 steps, and that was it. Well, George and Harley comes on through the woods, and unbeknownst to all of us, Bigfoot doubles back and comes in behind George and Harley.
Yeah.
Wow.
So evidently
we come down that hill and he come back on the other side and sat down and watched us.
Huh. That's nuts.
So evidently he either smelt me or seen me. I was still in full dress camouflage other than I didn't have no camouflage on my face. I had camouflage gloves on, camouflage coat, hat, boots. I mean, I could blend it in anywhere I wanted to. Just sat down and blended in and been fine.
Yeah.
But he either seen me or smelt me one.
I mean, he was a big boy. He was about 8.5 feet high, and he was every bit of 4 foot through the shoulders.
So you saw this creature?
Oh yeah, I was looking straight to this hill with nothing between us but the little valley. I looked right at him, and I watched him stand up, reach up and grab the tree and lean over to see where Harley was at.
Yeah.
So I seen him from the time he was crouched down till he got all the way at full height. As soon as he got to full height, I took off after him.
Wow.
I come down the hill past Harley, and by the time we come up the other side, he was gone. He had already took off.
Crazy.
I wanted to get closer and get a picture.
Oh man, that would have been so cool to get a picture like that. That would be freaking awesome.
And it all happened in just a couple of seconds. Everybody says, "Why didn't you get a picture?" Your adrenaline's going so fast, the heart's beating, and you just want to get where you can get a really good picture up close. And that's all you're thinking, get closer. Because at 20 yards, these things don't take great pictures.
No.
So I was getting closer to get a good picture. I was going to stand beside him and smile if I could have.
Someone was asking you, what is your newest book out lately?
My newest book out right now is Legends, Myths, Monsters, and Ghosts, the North American edition.
Yeah.
But the best one is going to come out before Christmas. It's going to be the European edition.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to be telling different legends, myths, and monsters from 50 different countries in Europe.
That'll be cool. Heck yeah, that'd be awesome. Going back to the Bigfoot and seeing Bigfoot, I know a lot of people like always ask, like, how come we don't see Bigfoot at the time when we hear these things or experience these things? I know, like you said, you saw Bigfoot. I've had a bunch of people said they saw Bigfoot, but a lot of times, like, these beings are not there when you hear them or listen for them. Like, what's your thoughts about that?
Go ahead, Rob.
They run in packs like wolves. If you see one, you're automatically surrounded.
Yeah.
The other one, that one will distract for the other ones to get away. While they're getting away, they're still watching you to see if you're posing a threat.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you pose a threat, they will close in. But if you're not posing a threat, and say, for instance, you're walking down a trail and you hear something other on your right, you better be looking to your left.
Yeah.
If you hear something other in front of you, you better be looking behind you. Because whatever your blind side is, as fast as these creatures are, they're going to get past you. It don't make any difference. You got to keep your head on swivel every time you're in the woods.
And they can be standing there and you walk by them and not even realize they're there. Yeah. Just like the one down there by Tim. If it wasn't open its eyes, it was 9 feet high. We had already taken measurements in that area. And it was 9 feet high. And if it wouldn't open its eyes, you'd never know it wasn't a tree.
No. Well, that's like
it was right up against a tree like this side of the tree. And like I said, it opened his eyes. We seen the eye movement. His eyes light up for a second, they closed them back.
Huh. It kind of reminds me of that movie Henry and the Hendersons at the end part
Or
where
Harry and the Hendersons.
you don't even see it by the tree and they just all move as a family.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that in a way. It's pretty interesting, that they could be right in front of you and you wouldn't even notice.
Oh, they are definitely masters of the woods. They can blend in anytime they want. If they don't want you to see them, you're not going to see them. They're not going to move. They're not going to open their eyes. They're going to be just waiting for you to get by and get away from them.
Yeah.
Then they'll move and do whatever behind you or out of your vision, and you'll be like, "I heard something," and it's already gone. We've had them walk beside us.
Wow.
We'll be on the trail, and they'll be on the other side of the laurels, walking with us. We stop, they stop. We move, they move, and you can tell. And you're feeling like you're being watched the whole time, and you are.
It's like,
and you can usually tell if you've been in the woods deer hunting, bear hunting, coon hunting, or even rabbit hunting for that matter. If you've been in the woods enough, you can generally pick up that feeling that you know that there's an animal close by that's watching you, whether it be a coyote. I've had deer sneak up on me and the woods be so crunchy that you can hear a squirrel at 200 yards coming across the top of the ridge. And I've had deer walk up behind me in the same kind of leaf litter that was that crunchy. And I'm like, how did that little devil get there? And I didn't hear it.
Oh, they're ninjas.
So
I call them ninja Bigfoot.
They know how to soft step in the woods. A lot of people will argue that, but if you get to thinking, how did Geronimo stay away from the federal government for so doggone long? He raided camps, wound up with ammunition, guns, food, clothing, everything else, and never left a footprint. They had chased him out into these big old fields, and back then, here's where the concept comes in that everybody's got the wrong end of the stick. Back then, those grassy fields, the grass was anywhere 6 to 7 foot tall. They didn't have John Deere riding lawnmowers to mow them fields down or anything else like that. So when they chased Geronimo out in them fields, he'd bury up in the grass. Military would run right past him with the horses. They never knew he was there. And that's how he got away from them. So you know good well if he could do that, just think what a creature like Bigfoot could do.
I don't know. I think they're ninjas.
Basically, I mean,
they study the art of karate.
Nitty-gritty on it. Basically, that's about what they are.
I just don't want one to sidekick me or nothing.
Oh man, that would hurt. I don't know if you could come up from come back from that.
A sidekick or a straight kick, you'd be in trouble.
Man, that would hurt, man. And like, it's funny because if you think about it, like we smell them all the time. I'm wondering if they're like going to Taco Bell or something. They're just like out there. They got to be doing something like that. Maybe that's why they stink so badly. It's those gorditas they're eating or chalupas,
chimichangas.
Too much chimichangas out there, some hot sauce. Can't hold it in. A bear shit in the woods? Well, a Bigfoot does.
We've seen it.
Oh, yeah.
Both of them actually, bear and Bigfoot. So.
Yeah, you never know. Like, who poops the biggest?
Paul Harley, I was beginning to think he was going to be a scatologist.
How like weird it would be a scatologist. Like you just like go in there and you like play with poop all the time.
That'd be a shitty job.
It would be a shit. I hope you get paid good for that because that would have to be a good paying job.
Well, you can definitely say your job stinks then.
Yeah.
Oh man, that would be actually it probably would be a good paying job because it couldn't pay me enough to pick up poop.
Well, let me tell you one on Harley. Tell you one good one on Harley since he's not here to defend himself.
Oh, go ahead.
We were up in East Tennessee, and we had just seen a big dogman print. big one. And we were walking through there, and we got close to this tree, and it was black on one side, and it stunk. Oh man! And we figured that this was a piss post. They marked the territory. And old Harley gets down and almost sticks his nose all the way in it. He's smelling it. He's going, hut, hut, hut.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that
I
was
thought
a fun
George
day.
was going to have to carry me back to the truck. I was laughing so hard I couldn't stand up.
Well, what got me is he wouldn't stop smelling it, but he's gagging every time he smells it.
So he just kept going and going and going,
Yeah.
just not stopping.
I mean, his nose was just, that close to touching the post where where that thing peed all over it.
There for a minute, I thought he was one of Elizabeth Taylor's boyfriends was sniffing that White Diamond's perfume.
I was scared he's going to taste it. I wasn't sure for a little while there.
And
if he had him, I'd have still been out there in the woods right now, a cackling, because I was about to lose it. I mean,
oh, you ain't kidding.
That's something like out of Mountain Monsters or something, that show. Bunch of them just screaming and stuff. And I can see that happening.
Speaking of mountain monsters.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Go ahead.
George. Go ahead, George.
We were on an expedition. We was out on a hunt. It was Tim, Rob, and me. Just the three of us. Rob picks up the stick used for a walking stick, and it has a big old root ball on the end of it. Well, we get all the way up the hill, and we're going through this little narrow area. And Rob decides he wants to knock the root ball off of this limbs he's walking. And I didn't realize where I was standing at when he decided to do this. And he's going back with that stick, and I just realized if that thing breaks off, it's going to hit me in the happy spot. So I go to hiding myself to get away from that, and all of a sudden a rock comes by and hits behind me where the Bigfoot chunked the rock at me. So I get a rock thrown at me, and he's trying to hit me in the gonads. So
what was the funny part? We almost had a reenactment of Mountain Monsters where Wild Bill was going to do a tree knock. He hits the tree, and part of the stick breaks and hits Willie in the gonads, and everybody's laughing. And Wild Bill turns around and says, "What are y'all over there hee-hawing about?" That instantly replayed in my mind about the time I started to break that stick, and I was just standing there cackling. I couldn't help it.
As you can tell, we have a lot of fun on our hunts.
I would have been done. I would have been down that hill like laughing so hard. Bigfoot would have been like running away.
We get on. We had already had a bunch of rocks thrown at us by the Bigfoot as it was. We get up there to the top of the hill, and there's a knoll in front of me, and then there's the rest of the mountain on the left-hand side, and a rock about the size of a baseball missed my head by like inches.
Oh, wow.
It took the tree out behind me.
Wow. Dang.
That's the kind of day I was having.
And those creatures are deadly with a rock.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of so many stories of people getting hit by rocks and all that kind of stuff, and it's pretty.
If they want to take you out with a rock, they certainly to God can.
Well, they were trying to distract us because we got on around, and that's when we seen another one of the small ones.
Yeah.
We were looking up the hill at where the sun was coming down, because for no reason all these wild robins come flying down towards us. So when we looked up to see what was going on, I had a little one run across and drop in behind some bushes. And we moved over. When we did, he run back the other way and went up the hill and dropped on all fours and disappeared on us.
Wow.
It was about 4 foot high. And we had just seen a 7 foot before we got up there.
Normally, when you're in the woods, birds or chipmunks or anything else for that matter will run away from you. Now, if there's something other there that is more dangerous to them, that's when they'll come to you, but that's very seldom when that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the first time we've ever seen every bird in the woods that we encountered come in our direction, and we knew we were in a very good area because that normally does not happen. Even if you're deer hunting, rabbit hunting, or anything else for that matter, animals are going to flee from you.
Yeah.
And Crystal, yes, they do like beer. We have seen videos of them stealing beer.
Imagine Bigfoot getting drunk.
Ain't nothing worse than a mad drunk Bigfoot, I'll tell you what.
Could you imagine just hearing a Bigfoot laugh and cackling the whole time in the woods? That would be pretty funny.
That would be pretty good.
If you get into these, a lot of these old hollers and hills and stuff between Virginia, Kentucky, even here in North Carolina and over in Tennessee, where they run where the old timers run the actual moonshine stills. There have been reports where Bigfoot has raided the still and took the mash and got pretty well polluted off that mash.
Yeah.
Wow. Huh.
I'm not sure when their breeding time is. I see Henry had sent a message there. I don't know. I'm assuming springtime when all the other animals mate.
Well, right now the juveniles are on the ground now.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Or maybe they mate like human beings. I don't know.
They may whenever they get the urge.
They get the urge, they go.
I mean, who's going to argue with them?
I'm not going to argue with one.
Well, I know we have a couple of minutes left. Why don't we tell everybody where they could find you guys and where they could contact you, and especially George, where they could find your book.
Rob, go ahead, brother.
Well, you can find me on Facebook, Robert Glenn Effler on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram on nci.rob. Also on TikTok. I can't remember how the dots and everything else goes, but if you'll look for North Carolina Investigates, no, it's a NCI Podcast and Research Team on TikTok. That's how you can find me on there. And when I'm not on there, each and every week, you can find me on Channel 12 TV Network on Roku, Apple Play, Comcast, and other platforms. You can even go to Google Play Store and pull up Channel 12 TV Network.
Sweet. I think what's her name is on Channel 12 too.
Giggles.
I can't remember her name.
Sandy Sapp.
It starts with an M. She does Skunk Ape in Florida. Mary? Is it Marie or Mary?
Marie DeMont.
Yeah.
She used to be.
Oh, she's not on there no more?
No, she left the channel. She had some stuff going on. She didn't want to,
Yeah.
I think she's still a good friend of the show and everything, though.
Yeah, she's awesome. I just I talk to them once in a while, but yeah, I saw them at a hockey game not too long ago. Yeah, they're pretty cool people. Love them. They're always out there squatching and everything. They do a lot of cool stuff out there. But man, thank you guys so much for coming on the show. And I think George, we're gonna find out when we can get your book.
You can find me on everything. You either look up George Lunsford or author George Lunsford. I have a website called authorgeorgelunsford.xtenhost.com. I'm on TikTok. I'm on MeWe, Tumblr, you name it, I'm on it. If you want to take out my books, go to Amazon. They're all on Amazon. You can type in books by George Lunsford, or you can look for the individual titles. Legends, Myths, Monsters, and Ghosts, the USA edition. Legends, Myths, Monsters, and Ghosts, the North American edition. Or Monsters of the World Reference Guide.
That's awesome, man. Can't wait to talk to you guys again. Hopefully I'll be able to visit you guys and be able to go Bigfoot with you. I always love being in the woods.
We'd be tickled to death taking the woods with us.
Oh, hell yeah. I love going in the woods. It's like my most peaceful place every time I go in the woods. Especially
here our Saturday.
Yes, we are.
Heck yeah, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining me on Animal Expedition Files. Thank you, everybody who is watching the show. You guys are amazing. At least I caught the end of the show. Yep, Crystal, you're awesome. Thank you for joining us last minute of the show. Thank you, guys. Definitely. We'll talk a little bit for a couple of minutes once the show ends, but we're gonna hit this goodbye button for everybody, and I'll talk to you guys in the green room in a sec.
Sounds good.
See you guys. Everybody have a good night, and I'll see you guys back Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. See you later.
Lights on. Dark Realm TV. Coming soon.